Welcome to Advice for Seniors, where we walk alongside older adults on the journey to living healthily, mindfully, and meaningfully every single day. Aging changes many things, from our bodies and emotions to our most private habits. But there's one topic that is rarely spoken about openly: the quiet shifts in one's intimate life, especially when it comes to masturbation. It's a subject that may seem delicate, but it holds profound importance for the physical health, emotional balance, and self-esteem of every older man. Have you ever felt that something which once brought comfort now feels rushed, disconnected, or even empty? If so, there's nothing wrong with you. It's simply a sign that your body, along with your heart and spirit, may be asking for a gentler, more mindful approach. In today's video, we're going to explore 5 silent but common mistakes many men over 60 unknowingly make when it comes to self-pleasure, and how to transform these habits into healthier, more respectful, and more loving acts of self-care. If you find this topic helpful, please consider subscribing, sharing this video, and leaving a comment below. Every share is a gift to someone else in the senior community who may be searching for empathy and gentle guidance. Let's begin with respect for yourself and an open heart ready to explore. Mistake number 1, believing the myth that retaining semen boosts vitality. In recent years, you may have come across the idea that retaining semen, in other words, avoiding ejaculation, will make you stronger, more masculine, or even help you live longer. Many men over 60 have unknowingly embraced this belief, thinking that restraint is a sign of discipline, a way to conserve vital life energy. However, according to experts in men's health at Mayo Clinic and Harvard University, this belief is one of the most common and harmful misconceptions for older men. Your body is designed to function fully and naturally, and releasing sexual energy in a healthy, timely way is a vital part of your body's biological balance. When you intentionally hold back, you're not becoming stronger. In fact, you may be placing your body under silent strain, pelvic tension, disrupted sleep, mood swings, and even an increased risk of prostate inflammation. Imagine a man named James, age 68. He firmly believed that retaining semen was the key to feeling youthful and energetic. But over time, he noticed that he was more fatigued, irritable, had trouble sleeping, and felt less connected to his body. When he finally spoke with a doctor, he was surprised to learn that excessive retention didn't benefit him. It was actually interfering with his body's natural rhythm. What's most important to understand is this: sexual wellness isn't about control. It's about connection and awareness. When you allow yourself to release tension in a mindful, healthy, and respectful way, you're not losing strength. You're simply choosing to live in harmony with yourself. Self-care, including private, intimate care, is not something to be ashamed of or hide away. It's like taking a deep breath, stretching your limbs, or sipping warm tea. A way to nourish yourself, to support balance, and to embrace life fully in this beautiful stage of your journey. So if you've ever believed that retaining semen makes me stronger, perhaps now is the time to gently re-examine that belief. Not because someone else said so, but because your own body may be asking to be heard with more compassion and care. Mistake number 2, rushing through the experience. Most of us, especially men, have grown up with the habit of rushing through self-pleasure, often done in secrecy and haste, as though it were something to be hidden or ashamed of. Over time, that sense of urgency became a routine, a reflex that we've carried with us even into our 60s and 70s. But our bodies no longer function the way they did in our youth. As we age, what the body truly needs is not speed, but presence. It needs us to listen, to feel, and to reconnect with ourselves. If you often find that self-pleasure feels mechanical, rushed, or leaves you feeling empty, or even a little down, it might be because you're overlooking the most important part: emotion and connection. Think of Paul, 72. He once said that every time he masturbated, he just wanted to get it over with. But after a conversation with a therapist, he realized, I've turned an intimate moment into a chore. So he began to change, taking more time, breathing deeply, feeling each movement, and most importantly, letting go of the need to finish quickly. The result? Not only did the sensations become clearer, but his mood also improved. He no longer felt guilt or disappointment afterward. Instead, he felt peace, fullness, and sometimes even a gentle joy. Slowing down doesn't mean dragging things out. It means making space for each moment to be felt fully. It's like sipping hot tea. If you rush it, you only feel the heat. But if you pause, breathe it in, and let the flavor unfold, it becomes a rich and subtle experience. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly felt in tune with your body? If your answer is a long time ago, then maybe today is the day to begin again. Gently, without pressure, just a quiet journey back to yourself. Mistake number 3, avoiding the use of lubrication. Many older men stick to the old habit of not needing anything extra. Sometimes it's due to embarrassment. Sometimes it's simply a belief that, I've done it this way for years, I don't need anything else. But just like wearing glasses to read more clearly or using cushioned shoes to ease joint pain, using a lubricant isn't a weakness. It's a sign of wisdom, sensitivity, and true self-care. After 60, the body changes. Skin becomes drier, sensitivity can decrease, and friction may not feel as comfortable as it once did. And yet many men continue as if nothing's changed, only to end up feeling discomfort, minor pain, or quiet frustration. Frank, 71, once felt disappointed that intimacy no longer brought the comfort it used to. But after being encouraged by a urologist to try a water-based lubricant, he said, I had forgotten how smooth, gentle, and pleasurable it could feel. Honestly, it changed the whole experience. The right lubricant doesn't just reduce friction, it can awaken parts of the body that seem to have gone quiet, helping you enjoy each motion and each breath more fully. For those with mild arthritis, shaky hands, or reduced dexterity, a good lubricant can also make everything feel easier, smoother, and less physically demanding. Most importantly, it makes you feel cared for. Remember, self-care shouldn't feel like a struggle. Sometimes softness, ease, and fluidity are exactly what your body and your spirit need most at this stage of life. Mistake number 4, feeling ashamed or guilty about this behavior. This may be the most subtle and also the most quietly carried burden among many older men, a sense of shame, guilt, and sometimes silent secrecy. The truth is, no one ever really taught us how to accept our private needs as we grow older, especially for those who were raised in a time when sex was considered a taboo subject. Even touching oneself was once labeled with words like wrong or out of control. So even today, though you may be a grown man with a wealth of experience and wisdom, those old emotions may still linger. You may understand on a rational level that it's a normal need, and yet deep down, you might still feel a twinge of guilt, a desire to hide, and it's often those very feelings that lead you to rush, to feel discomfort, or to walk away from the experience feeling incomplete. But pause for a moment and ask yourself, who taught you that taking care of yourself is something shameful? Who made you believe that this very human, very natural need is something you must hide or apologize for? Did you know that studies show older men who maintain a healthy sexual life, including through self-care, tend to live longer, sleep better, experience less stress, and feel more confident? But these benefits only truly emerge once you let go of the mental barriers you've carried for so long. Lawrence, 69, once shared his breakthrough. I no longer saw it as something to hide. I saw it as meditation, a way to reconnect with myself, to relax, and to honor who I am. You can do the same. You don't have to rush. You don't have to feel guilty. You don't need to apologize to yourself. You've spent your whole life showing up for others. Now you deserve to show up for yourself, even in the quietest, most personal of ways. Mistake number 5, ignoring tools specifically designed for men over 60. Many men in their 60s or 70s continue to care for themselves in the same way they did in their youth. Not because they refuse to change, but because they don't realize how much their bodies have already changed. What's even more unfortunate is that many don't know there are simple tools, quiet companions, designed to help make those private moments more comfortable, safe, and deeply fulfilling. We don't hesitate to wear reading glasses when our vision fades, or to use a cane when our steps feel uncertain. So why hesitate to use a product that supports your sensitivity, your skin, or your comfort? There are many tools specifically designed for older men, from ergonomic aids that reduce strain on the stiff joints, to soft materials that mimic natural sensations, or gentle massagers that stimulate areas you may have never paid attention to before. David, 72, used to think those things were unfamiliar or unnecessary. But after receiving kind guidance from a geriatric doctor, he tried a simple device that eased pressure on his wrist. Something he once dismissed turned out to make everything more comfortable, less tiring, and far more enjoyable. These tools are not about replacing yourself. They are about partnering with your body, a body that has carried you through decades of life. Using support tools doesn't make you less masculine. On the contrary, it's a mature and respectful way of caring for yourself. You may be surprised to discover that, with just a little of the right support, pleasure doesn't just return, it deepens. It becomes more connected, more emotional, and more truly yours. Conclusion: reconnecting with confidence, emotion, and the joy of living. As we enter our 60s, 70s, or even 80s, many men carry a quiet feeling that certain parts of themselves have faded, that they are no longer the same. But the truth is, nothing is ever truly lost. Perhaps we just haven't yet learned how to step into this new chapter of ourselves. Self-care, whether it's a nourishing meal, a restful night's sleep, or a private moment alone, is never something to be ashamed of. It is a continuation of self-respect, a gentle way to tell your body, I'm still listening, I still care. We have walked through many seasons, responsibility, hardship, quiet sacrifices. So now as you enter a more peaceful stage of life, you deserve to feel whole again, to move with tenderness and freedom within your own body. The 7 mistakes we've explored together are not here to make you feel regret, but to remind you that with just a few simple shifts, in the way you touch yourself, in the way you view those quiet moments, everything can begin to feel different, less rushed, less mechanical, and more thoughtful, more connected. You don't need to become the man you were at 30, because the man you are today, with your wisdom, your experiences, your depth, is already deeply worthy. If you're still here reading these final words, I believe there's something in you that's been quietly longing, not just for release, but for authenticity, for closeness, for emotion, and for that inner peace that comes from being truly at home with yourself. So let this be the beginning of a new journey, a journey of reconnection with your body, your spirit, and the joy you absolutely deserve. Thank you for walking with us. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, share it with someone who may need it, and don't forget to subscribe to Advice for Seniors, where we're always here to listen, support, and walk alongside you in living a healthy, meaningful, and inspired life. We'll see you in the next video.